Disasters cost money. Between fire and floods in Colorado this summer, it costs lots of money. And the federal government is not interested in helping out this time around. Will a women's soccer stadium be built in Denver? That decision is up to City Council, even though that's not what they're voting on.
Our heart is here, but we'll see what the result is tonight.
After 9 months in ICE custody, Jeanette Vizguera is out, but her fight to stay in the country is right where it was. This one time at BandFest, high schoolers from Fort Collins are representing Colorado at a nationwide music event.
It's a real treat. I know the kids are excited.
It would have been a perfect story for me to bring my recorder to work today, because this is next. The Trump administration just stuck Colorado with a bill it was expecting help paying. FEMA will not reimburse the state or local government impacted by this summer's Lee and Elk fires in Rio Blanco County. Nor will the federal government reimburse some of the costs for the severe flooding in 3 counties in southwest Colorado. The Lee fire was the 5th largest in state history. It scorched 137,000 acres in August. According to Rio Blanco County, $23 million of Lee fire disaster aid is because of damage to the White River Electric Association's electrical infrastructure, which provides a portion of the nation's energy supply. FEMA denied the request for reimbursement, as the Trump administration has put more emphasis on state and local governments being more financially responsible for state and local disasters. This year, 15 states have been denied disaster aid. 9 of them, though, are states that Trump carried in the 2024 election. For Colorado, this is the latest blow by the Trump administration. There's the Department of Justice investigation into the state's prison system that was announced after the president's pardon of Tina Peters petered out, since she's in prison on state charges and a presidential pardon has no power. Then the administration announced an attempt to dismantle NCAR in Boulder. Last week, the feds canceled grants for electric vehicle and rail upgrades in Colorado. And now the denial of FEMA reimbursement. A FEMA spokeswoman said it was based on policy, not politics. Last week, I asked Democratic Governor Jared Polis if there's a magic number from Trump for Polis to give up Tina Peters. Is there anything he could cancel in terms of money that you're expecting to this state that you'd say, okay, you can have Tina if I can have this money back?
No, it's not, it's not a money thing. I mean, she's not a prisoner of mine. She's not a prisoner of his. She was convicted by a jury and she's serving her term.
All the counties impacted are in Republican Congressman Jeff Hurd's district. In a statement, he said he wants the administration to work with the state on an appeal, saying Western Colorado has long supported the president. I reached out to Hurd and asked if an area that didn't support the president, would the denial of aid be okay then? I did not get a response. Soccer matches are 90 minutes. Then there's extra stoppage time for delays during the game. And Denver Summit FC is in record stoppage time right now. Tonight, the Denver City Council is discussing whether to approve the stadium rezoning and tens of millions of dollars to improve a stadium site for Denver women's soccer team at Santa Fe Yards. Our Spencer Soysher is live just outside of City Council chambers, which says to me there's still no decision if you're just in the hallway there, Spencer.
Yeah, Marshall, that extra record time of stoppage time still going on right now. 2.5 hours tonight, a long meeting last week, a bunch of smaller meetings before that, and the council still has no decision right now. As recently as 3 hours ago, though, the owner of the club told me that if Denver doesn't approve this tonight, they're ready to go elsewhere. Even for just an hour on a December Monday, a little tent in front of Civic Center Park is a temporary home for Denver Summit FC and its supporters.
I'd be lying if I didn't say, there's a little pit in my stomach. It's like
Club owner Rob Cohen is just hoping the team gets to building a permanent home soon.
We do have a contractor on board. We've got the plans on board, but obviously once the vote is behind us, everything will accelerate.
The team wants to be in Denver at Santa Fe Yards, but they've got a plan B, C, D, and E.
Definitely talked, I can confirm that we have talked to 4 communities.
We'll have a club starting in 2026, and we will have a home somewhere in the 2028 season.
Summit FC Club President Jen Millay and the team's stadium approval has been caught up in a political battle.
You trying to tell me that I'm not asking the right questions.
Trust issues between the city council and the mayor's office and city on where city allocated money is headed has prolonged the process.
I'm not going to comment on the politics that are going on at City Council and with the Mayor's office.
The debate on the rezoning will not be the only stadium project going through this process.
Can't imagine who you're talking about.
While the Denver Broncos are not relying on the City Council to approve funding for their new stadium plan at Burnham Yard, this is a litmus test. The Broncos say they're focused on their own collaborative process with the city, but also need to deal with rezoning.
What I would tell them is to lean into the process and not necessarily to fight the process, but lean into it and try to make the best out of the community benefit agreement, try to make the best out of the conversations and relationships you have.
All right, so I think this vote is coming any minute now. It looks like most of the council members have given their remarks, and it sounds like it's leaning towards it's going to get approval tonight, Marshall. Again, not entirely clear when that's going to come down and how many yeses or how many nos, but it's starting to look like, based off of the comments that these council members are making before the vote, that they're going to go ahead and approve this tonight.
You can walk away if you want. I don't want to keep you from going in there, but if you think it's happening, walk away. What other cities? I know you asked the other cities. Jen Millay, the president, her sister used to be mayor of Lone Tree most recently. The Broncos wanted to go to Lone Tree, so let's put Lone Tree on the list. Any idea what other city, if it's real, they would be considering?
Yeah, I wanted to see if they were bluffing as well, and I asked that question. I was like, all right, who are the four? He told me none of them are going to tell you. They have an NDA, and we're not telling you that as well. So we'll find out which of those four it may be, or we won't find out at all, and this gets passed tonight.
You and me are going to find out. Thank you, Spencer. Get back in there. Thanks, Spencer. After 9 months in the ICE detention facility in Aurora, a prominent immigration activist walked out today. Jeanette Vizgara is out after a judge ruled she could be released on $5,000 bond. The judge found the Department of Homeland Security failed to justify Vizgara's detention, ruling she was neither a danger to the community and not a risk to just take off. That's according to advocate organization American Friends Service Committee, which has been working alongside Vizgara's legal team. Vizgara was taken into custody in March in front of the Target she worked at in Denver. She gained national attention during President Trump's first term for seeking sanctuary in church to avoid deportation. This order from the judge is not a final decision about Vizgara's case, including her challenge to a deportation removal order. President Trump is making policies that are cracking down on legal pathways for immigrants from countries like Afghanistan and Somalia. It's policy we haven't seen in the immigration space in more than 20 years. Here's our Angeline McCall.
Across Colorado, people from Afghanistan and more than a dozen other countries remain worried about what could happen to their immigration cases.
So one example is that the president has ordered that immigration stop processing all green card applications for people who are from these 19 countries, right? So that certainly Afghanistan is at the first on the list.
Violetta Chapin with the law school at CU Boulder says these types of steps are something we haven't seen since 9/11.
The president has also ordered that any refugees who came in from Afghanistan and other countries be vetted again, right? And so be subject to increased scrutiny. So
it will mean renewed scrutiny for people in many cases who have already gone through the process before. The changes were announced after an Afghan national shot 2 National Guard members, killing one before Thanksgiving.
That, coupled with a president and an administration who are willing to blame an entire community for the actions of one or the actions of a few. And I don't think that's right.
It isn't the first time President Trump has targeted specific countries of origin. We saw it in his first term with a travel ban for people from certain countries. This is an attempt at a similar policy.
And that is textbook national origin discrimination. And I think there would certainly be a legal challenge to what he's doing.
President Trump has argued these changes are necessary for national security concerns. Week after week, your generosity helps nonprofits carry out important work across the state. Today, we have the opportunity to help children with visual impairments. Here's Kyle with an update on this week's Word of Thanks.
Thanks for being with Next while I'm away, and thank you for the more than $50,000 that you raised for a Precious Child's holiday gift drive, serving children up and down the Front Range. This is a time of joy and excitement for children and for families. There are parents of young children who are feeling fear and worry oftentimes because their children are blind or have vision impairments, but the nonprofit Anchor Center for Blind Children is ready to walk beside them with guidance and expertise. The final Word of Thanks campaign for 2025 supports Anchor Center. They offer intensive work with children with visual impairments from birth to age 5, in-home and at their center in Denver. They are well known for this work and this expertise that they offer to families who come in often wondering what the future looks like for their child. And what they're told is that the possibilities are endless, and Anchor Center can guide the way. To join me in donating, scan the QR code on your screen or text the word thanks to 303-871-1491. Almost 7,000 of you have signed up to become a monthly donor to the Word of Thanks Fund. Your donations have become the beating heart of this program, which has raised about $3 million for nonprofits in Colorado this year, $17 million over the last 6 years. You can use that same QR code or text to get there. Thank you so much.
I'm really excited. I think we put so much hard work last year when we sent in the recording.
Did she say recording? That sounds like a band needs a recorder player. After a rigorous audition process, musicians at Fort Collins High School take their skills to the national level. The investigation into the crash that killed State Senator Faith Winter is complete. On Friday, we found out she had alcohol in her system 2 times the legal limit, and investigators found her solely at fault when she rear-ended a truck. But the investigation also said the truck had no taillights, so we were curious why that driver held no responsibility. Video from an RTD pedestrian bridge shows that truck in the fast lane the night before Thanksgiving. You can see it does not have visible brake lights. According to the crash report, the driver was able to stop for a crash that had just happened ahead. And this video supports what witnesses said, that despite that truck not having taillights, they also were able to slow down and stop as well. Shortly after this, Winter crashed into the truck at highway speeds. The crash report does say the driver of the truck was cited for driving while ability impaired. That's a step below DUI. Also cited for defective vehicle, driving without insurance, and driving a truck that was not registered. The report says that the truck driver's actions were not the primary cause of the crash, and that other drivers were still able to see it and react in time. We want to warn you about some breaking news. A fire is causing evacuations in 4 Mile Canyon. That's an area west of Boulder and south of Gold Hill. The alert from the Boulder Sheriff's Office says it's in the area of Wild Turkey Trail. Firefighters are already on the scene. We have a crew heading there, and we'll update more if we can during this next broadcast. And I'm going to turn to Chris Bianchi right now. And you know, it's just this warm day that I felt didn't deserve to be talked about in December because it's so warm, and now we're seeing the unfortunate consequences of it being so darn warm in December.
Yeah, exactly. And those winds, little good news is the winds in that area are dying down. I would imagine that firefighting conditions, while it's very dry up there, they will improve over the next few hours. So some help there as those winds will decrease, about 20 to 40 mile an hour gusts in the area of that fire burning. If the sun was up, you'd be able to see the fire there as you look off to the north. Now, here's that record heat today. 76 for us in Denver today, breaking the old record, smashing it. Second hottest December day on record, hottest since December the 5th of 1939. And this, our 12th day this month with a high temperature at or above 60 degrees for us. What are we doing? It's somebody wrote to me saying it feels less like Christmas in July. It's more like July and Christmas, and that's the way it's going to be all week long. This will likely end up as a top 5 warmest December on record for us because of this persistent ridge of high pressure. Still seeing some of those gusts there in the Boulder County foothills, including the area affected by the Wild Turkey fire. But again, those winds will back off over the next few hours, and generally light winds for tomorrow. Some good news on the way for those firefighters up there. But otherwise, mid to upper 60s all week long, including a record warm Christmas Day on Thursday.
A group of high school musicians are getting recognized at the national level, and I understand they do not need me and my recorder. No, I don't have it today. High school music programs go beyond the experience of practicing in the band room. For a group of students in Fort Collins, it's a chance to perform at the national level. Our Byron Reed has the story.
Music can take you on a journey.
It's nice because you're getting away from all the schoolwork and you're just getting to do something that you love with the people that you love too.
For high school junior Carolina Moraes Dutra, playing music with this group hits close to home.
I think all the amazing opportunities that we have and our amazing directors, they always want the best for us, so they always push us to our hardest.
Moraes Dutra is a French horn player in the Fossil Ridge High School concert band that's been practicing for a trip they won't forget.
We're going to Indianapolis, which is it's so cool, and I think everyone's just super, super excited.
The high school's wind symphony and percussion ensembles have been selected to perform at the Music for All National Festival this spring, an event that showcases the top music programs in the country.
Middle school and high school bands and percussion ensembles and orchestras that have gone through a rigorous audition process and were selected and invited to attend and participate in this event.
Aaron Herman is the director of bands for the high school. Fossil Ridge is one of 24 programs selected after submitting recordings of their ensembles to the judges.
It is a process that we started really back in January of this year, selecting music that we really rehearsed for that purpose of getting a pristine recording.
The ensembles were the only group selected from Colorado, and the school is making sure all students get to travel with help from the community.
We have students and families that are in just different levels of need for that, and we have been fortunate up to this point to raise about $25,000 of the $40,000 that we're going to need.
I think it's support from not just our community, but our parents as well. They're always here for us and just always supporting us through whatever opportunities come our way.
It's a chance for these musicians to hit a high note on a national stage and enjoy an adventure of a lifetime.
All the hard work that we put in and then getting to see the amazing outcome of it, it's something I'll take with me forever.
For 9 News, I'm Byron Reed.
We want to update the fire burning in Boulder County, where we know there are evacuations being called for. Thank you for zooming in, Nathan Higgins there. This map shows the evacuation areas. Boulder is the metro area just to the right, right where the mouse is spinning around. That is City Center Boulder. And this would be up Canyon, and then north of that, these are the evacuation areas. We'll get better boundaries for you, but I just know the one on the right is closest to, south of Sunshine Canyon. The one on the left, thanks Nathan there, is south of Gold Hill. Again, a fire burning in this area. These are the evacuation areas, and we'll try to get some boundaries for you by the end of the show if we can.
The Anchor Center for Blind Children in Denver does incredible work with children and their families as they're facing the challenge of vision impairment. And the work that they do does not come cheap. It is intensive, it is highly specialized, and it lasts from birth until age 5. So that cost of care is highly subsidized to families by generous donors like us. The Anchor Center is the recipient of our final Word of Thanks campaign for 2025. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word thanks to 303-871-1491 to join me and a bunch of other Coloradans in giving. The Anchor Center transforms lives, gives families peace of mind, hope for their children's future. It is a priceless gift in this holiday season. I hope you'll join me in giving. Thank you.
Feedback's going to look a little different tonight because it's feedback for people in the area of this fire burning west of Boulder. That feedback is to get out if you're in the evacuation area. We want to show the map one more time of the evacuation areas where it's burning west of Boulder again. The sheriff's office says if you've received the evacuation notice, leave immediately. They're also asking people clearly to not head up there. Roads narrow. First responders need the room to move freely. We've got a crew heading there, and we'll have more later tonight on 9 News at 9 and 10. See you next time.